I were to tell you Christine just pulled the ultimate power move, and the whole Brown family might never be the same. Hey everyone, welcome back to TLC Vibes. At midnight, a cryptic post landed on the web, no caption, no explanation, just a blurry photo that resembled eerily a tax document. But not the kind you'd ever want made public. For years, Christine had been the behind-the-scenes mastermind in quiet reserve. But this was brazen. This was checkmate. As most fans were still removing their face masks or getting into bed, the picture began circulating like wildfire on every Sister Wives forum. It had been cropped, zoomed in, enhanced, take your pick. In a small corner of the document, above a smudged line indicating income, keen-eyed fans noticed something chilling, a red underline under the letters HL typed out in bold capital letters. Christine remained quiet. She didn't have to say anything. The internet erupted like a 4th of July fireworks display. Within hours, rumors burst forth. People were certain that this leak revealed Kody's falling finances. But that wasn't even the real shocker. Scribbled in the margin, double-circled, were 2 words, post-sale. Suddenly, this wasn't about taxes anymore. This was about timing. About Kody Pass. And for those who followed the Brown family drama for over a decade, one thing became crystal clear. Christine wasn't just leaking information, she was sending a message. If those figures are even half correct, the ramifications for Kody and the rest of the family are enormous. The leaked tax returns were nothing short of astronomical. It raised the question, what else had Kody been keeping from the other wives all these years? Why hold it back until now and unleash this bombshell? And how much exactly had Robyn, Mary, and Janelle actually known about his income coming under such scrutiny? It wasn't long before Reddit sleuths mobilized. Their verdict? The paper was a Schedule C, yes, the Internal Revenue Service tax form for self-employment income, and what it disclosed was astounding. On initial impression, the gross income looked fine. Then there was a deduction so large it took people's breath away. Stranger yet, hidden beneath that picture was a second, more pixelated image of a very similar form, albeit one with drastically different numbers. Were these filings for different years? Or were they 2 iterations of the same filing with numbers quietly massaged along the way? Christine stayed silent. She didn't need to say a word. But eagle-eyed fans weren't done yet. They spotted something subtle in the background of the photo, a beige marble tabletop. It looked suspiciously like one Christine used to own back in Arizona, before the Great Divorce. The question now became, how long had she been sitting on this evidence? There was dead silence. No comment from TLC. No word from Kody. Not even Robyn, always more than happy to come to his rescue, had a thing to say. But the fans weren't done digging. In one muzzy corner of the page, they found a little number. It didn't just suggest a decline in revenue, it indicated a complete overhaul of finances. Something significant had changed overnight, it seemed. And then, in the upper right corner, 2 tiny initials, R. Plain. Small. But in the Brown clan, everything is never plain nor small. Almost immediately, fans understood what R was short for Robyn Brown. The woman who had quietly built power within the family now had her initials attached to what might be the greatest financial scandal the Browns have ever had to deal with. Christine did not even have to mention anybody in her post. The internet took care of mentioning anybody for her. Come dawn, the rumors were going around like wildfire. And the most explosive hypothesis? Kody's financial issues coincided nearly too conveniently with the mysterious sale of the Kody Pass compound. A transaction that always sat poorly with longtime fans. And now it was rumored the sale hadn't even been negotiated by Kody himself, but by an LLC owned by someone well within the inner family fold. Someone who, up until this point, had never even been on fans' radars. What exactly a land sale on the show actually is has never been properly clarified. And that in itself is suspicious. But what actually pushed viewers over the edge? It was when it was announced that this enigmatic LLC, the one associated with Kody Pass land, had simply sold one tract of land to a second firm 3 days prior to the leaked tax form supposedly being submitted. Yes, on paper that's legal. LLCs frequently shuffle property to shelter it from taxes or protect it from liability. But in the context of this dysfunctional family soap opera, it didn't feel right. Particularly when fans unearthed an old interview in which Kody matter-of-factly stated that he was structuring things smart to keep what's ours. That was 2 years ago, when the family was still together, before the public shunned him, and before the wives realized they were done pretending. And then came the kicker. The leaked tax document had not one, but 2 signatures on the bottom, both uncannily matching Kody's script. Those big swoops, that dramatic flair, classic Kody. But this is where it got strange. The 2 signatures were dated 2 weeks apart. The first was signed shortly after the land supposedly changed hands. The second? Nearly 15 days later. And it listed a completely different mailing address. This only led to more questions. Was the second signature on an updated filing? Or was it designed to silently erase the first one? Christina's fanbase, now effectively a full-fledged detective agency, started posting side-by-side comparisons of Kody's signature from recent court documents. And the comparison? Practically too perfect. And still, radio silence. No call from Kody. No call from Robyn. No denial. No explanation. And for longtime Sister Wives fans, that silence was louder than any confession. In the world of Sister Wives, silence often speaks louder than any word. Then, a self-proclaimed insider popped up on one of the fan boards with a bombshell claim. Christine had been holding onto those leaked documents for over a year, just waiting for the perfect moment to drop them. What ultimately tipped her over? A blunder from a local real estate broker who blurted that only one individual received paid out of the Coyote Pass sale. Not Christine. Not Janelle. Not Mary. Only a single name was left on that enigmatic check. And that's when things began getting even weirder. Fans began piecing together the timeline and something didn't add up. If Kody's income had actually been cut in half, as the leaked tax form indicated, then why was he suddenly adding new employees to the payroll? Just days after Christina's mysterious post, another piece of the puzzle surfaced from within TLC itself. One longtime Sister Wives subreddit poster came forward, self-identifying only as K, a past crew member. No tax documents, no names, but what she shared got fans sitting up and paying attention. K reported that a few days after the land sale had closed, one of Kody's partners urgently called TLC producers, imploring them to erase all raw footage referencing appraisals, sale prices, or budgeting. Anything that could raise eyebrows. TLC cast members were used to drama, divorces, courtroom showdowns, family squabbles. But Kay swore this was different. The phone calls were desperate. Frantic. Somebody was badly shaken. And then came the shot that shocked viewers in the gut. Kay showed Christine being taped on a picnic at Coyote Pass, visibly upset, clutching a piece of paper, demanding, "Are you supposed to film lies?" That shot? Never seen. Naturally, zealots set out stalking, replaying every picnic outing, every campfire conversation. They analyzed Christina's face, Robyn's interruptions, and Kody's nebulous hints about where they were going next. One observant viewer actually caught something fishy, a jump cut mid-sentence immediately after Christine asked to reassign funds. What was TLC hiding? That jump cut? Now that the leaked tax form is out of the closet, it doesn't look so coincidental anymore. Some sources even surmise that Robyn subtly pressured Kody to erase anything that would ruin their well-groomed public perception. For them, the land sale was spotless and everybody had their due. But the fans aren't swallowing it. Not everyone had been paid what they deserved. Whether that's the case or not, there's one thing everybody agrees on: something massive was cut out. And most think that Christine possesses the raw footage, perhaps taken on her own phone, prior to, during, or after official filming. So if that is so, and Christine does have time-stamped evidence, the Browns' very carefully crafted story may be about to unravel. But just when things couldn't possibly get more dramatic, an older clip went viral, one shot almost 7 years ago backstage. In it, Kody guffaws and declares, "One day this land is going to save us or ruin us." At the time, it was just empty braggadocio. Now, It feels like a deadly prophecy fulfilled. And rumor has it, that's only the start. In the Sister Wives fan base, this one thing is certain. Christine isn't done. And her last card? It has nothing to do with taxes, land transactions, or even Robyn herself. It's all about who got paid and who did not. By midweek, the speculation had long passed the Reddit conspiracy theories and fuzzy documents. Meet Jane, a forensic accountant with a reputation for dissecting dirty celebrity prenups and reality TV budgets. Jane spelled it out. She does not speak for the Browns. But after reading the documents and public conduct, she did have some sobering observations. On a live stream, Jane broke down the leaked form could potentially be demonstrating a strategy known as income compression. In short, it's when one person makes their declared income appear smaller on paper, but secretly transferring funds elsewhere. Not necessarily against the law, but certainly a giant red flag. In Kody's case, Jane noticed red flags all around. There was one that jumped out more than any other, a loan line titled consulting fee directly under a depreciation line, a precise, neat six-figure amount. Jane described consulting fees as something of a wild card for uncertain services that are difficult to quantify. And here's where it got really interesting. Fans were quick to link that consulting fee to something very specific. Robyn was spotted with around the same time, a one-of-a-kind piece of furniture and a gorgeous emerald necklace. Insiders told us the total price of those items could be tens of thousands of dollars. That may seem like a stretch to some, but Sister Wives viewers aren't just hobbyists. They document everything from receipts and Instagram backdrops to outfit changes and even car upgrades. So when Robyn was spotted in a Facebook advertisement for a downtown boutique, sporting what appeared to be a brand new, custom emerald necklace, only weeks after the land sale concluded, eyebrows automatically shot up throughout the fandom. Who purchased that necklace? How was the funds transferred? And why did the price virtually exactly equal that secret consulting fee? Jane stayed professional, but didn't mince words. She referred to it as a smoking gun. Jane wasn't shy about the possible consequences. If that consulting funds were derived from marital income and had been redirected into the finer things in life without full disclosure, it's not only messy, it could be risky legally. She further stated that if Christine does have any legal right, direct or indirect, to that money, she can ask for a complete forensic audit. Particularly if what was reported to the IRS does not happen in reality. That's when lawyers began commenting. A Utah attorney blogger, reporting from alleged sources close to Christine, stated that this leak wasn't an impulsive action. It was calculated. Christine waited for the perfect moment, when Kody and Robyn's finances crossed a threshold that could be backed up by hard evidence, like that suspicious consulting fee. And here's the kicker. This could be just the tip of the iceberg. The blogger hinted Christine might be preparing to expose other payments, ones that were never fully explained, broken down, or even intended to be scrutinized. So perhaps this tale isn't so much about Kody's revenue dwindling. It's about where the remaining funds went and who signed off. When fans got a hint of this money mystery, they did what they do best. They tracked the money trail. What they found sent shockwaves throughout the fandom. Hundreds of PayPal screenshots began circulating among fan communities and private Facebook groups. These weren't guesses or hearsay. Each screenshot had transactions attributed to Brown family business. The timing was close, just weeks from the Coyote Pass land sale deadline. And the figures? Not pocket money. One transaction had $25,000. Another had $78,000. And there was one labeled simply as an admin retainer for $53,000. None of those PayPal transactions had any public Brown family LLC filings. But the timing? It was nearly too perfect to overlook. These were not official records, no authentication, no press release, but they cut deep. Eager fans began digging further, digging through the messy usernames attached to these PayPal payments. They compared them to Brown-associated email addresses already uncovered in public records. And at the heart of it? One PayPal account belonging to Robyn Brown. Christina's silence was deafening. A Flagstaff fan forum, operated by locals who said they had insider information, let out a bombshell rumor. Christine had been saving those screenshots all along, way back when the family was still feigning to be one financial family. She supposedly belonged to a group chat regarding filming schedules, reimbursements, and joint expenses. But when the Coyote Pass scandal began boiling over, that chat became toxic too. Money disputes erupted, and Christine supposedly started screenshotting the brawls. Screenshots she kept secret. Until now. Some sources even claim Christina's got more than just screenshots. They say she has something more, something tangible. Not only numbers and handles, but context, motive, and evidence. And if it's true, the Browns could be facing serious trouble down the line. Meanwhile, that creepy old video of Kody keeps ringing in the minds of fans everywhere. One day this land is going to save us or ruin us. What was once thought to be a flippant comment now sounds like a dire prophecy, particularly with Christine reportedly possessing one last bombshell. A bombshell not of land or Robyn, but of who was paid and who wasn't. By now, the scandal has blown wide open beyond fan sites. That's when Jane, that celebrated forensic accountant, entered the picture, her trained eye to the emerging financial enigma. Jane, a forensic accountant whose name is synonymous with dismantling celebrity prenups and reality TV budgets, chilled the Sister Wives fan base. In a recent broadcast, she demonstrated how income reports, such as the one leaked by Christine, could exhibit deliberate income compression, a strategy in which taxable income is minimized on paper while quietly transferred elsewhere. It's not necessarily criminal, but it certainly raises alarms. In Kody's instance, one very obvious warning was a consulting fee, an actual six-figure amount, identified right below a depreciation expense. Jane said consulting fees tend to pay for nebulous, intangible work where the value may be negotiable or flexible. Then there was the surprise that fans couldn't help but notice. They connected that suspicious fee to something tangible. Robyn was seen shortly after the land sale with a high-end custom piece of furniture and, more notably, a gorgeous emerald necklace. Collectively, insiders say those items are worth tens of thousands of dollars. To anyone else, it might appear to be speculation. But Sister Wives viewers are far from outsiders. They monitor everything: timelines, receipts, costume updates, even car changes. So when Robyn was seen in a Facebook commercial promoting a boutique, wearing what appeared to be a brand new emerald necklace just weeks following the land sale, fans were quick to notice. Questions poured in. Who purchased that necklace? Where did the funds originate? And why did its price almost equal that infamous consulting fee? Jane was guarded but adamant. If this money is generated from community funds and spent on extravagances without full disclosure, that's not sloppy accounting. It might be legally dubious. She also intimated that if Christine had any indirect claim or entitlement to those funds, she may have a right under the law to insist on a complete review of finances, particularly if the numbers being reported don't quite check out. The instant the money trail broke, the internet fan base went into overdrive. A well-liked Utah legal blogger, who maintains insider connections in Christina's camp, exposed this leak wasn't spontaneous, it was planned. According to their sources, Christine had been waiting for the perfect moment, when Robyn and Kody crossed a tangible financial line, like that eye-popping consulting fee. And if the rumors are true, what we're seeing now could be just the tip of the iceberg. More undisclosed payments might come to light, suggesting this isn't just about lost income, it could be about misspent funds. But who gave the green light to those transactions? That query led sleuthing enthusiasts into a rabbit hole of online evidence. More than a dozen PayPal screenshots started making the rounds in fan forums and closed Facebook groups. All appeared to indicate transactions associated with Brown family business accounts, dated weeks prior to when the Coyote Pass sale went through. The figures? Fierce. One was a massive lump sum. Another was even larger. One payment was cryptically titled an admin retainer. Nobody has the foggiest idea what it paid for. None of these charges showed up in any public Brown family LLC filings, which is extremely suspicious. No confirmations by authority. No blockbuster reports in the press. No confirmed whistleblowers. But committed fans weren't gullible. They began linking usernames from the blurry PayPal screenshots to email addresses associated with Brown family ventures. And at the very center of it all, a PayPal account that appears to be Robyn's. That's when Christina's silence was deafening. Local pundits, via a Flagstaff-based fan site, wonder if Christine may have been the original screen cap savant. Evidently, she was in a group chat that the whole family shared. Christine was in a group chat where the Browns organized everything, scheduling, receipts, reimbursements. But as soon as the Coyote Pass scandal broke in the background, those discussions reportedly became ugly. One fan blog familiar with Flagstaff insiders says Christine started screenshotting angry exchanges, particularly arguments over money, and has been sitting on them, waiting for the right moment to pounce. And that moment? Most think it's now. Sources indicate Christine isn't merely sitting on figures or generic transaction IDs. She allegedly has proof, tangible evidence of who signed off on what funds and why. That's where wild gossip ends and a scandal that can destroy the family begins. Although Kody and Robyn have kept quiet in public, sources tell us their inner circle has gone into crisis mode, full-on damage control. Local merchants connected with Robyn's home spending were called in. Some were even asked not to confirm nor deny any purchases made last fall. It's obvious someone's hiding their tracks ahead of Christine dropping her next bombshell. But erase the spin nobody anticipated. Christine could be in a minority position. There's a name the fans never thought would come up again, someone who had seen the money move. And that person may be willing to spill the beans. What was to be a low-profile birthday party, balloons, cupcakes, possibly even a unicorn piñata, turned into a battleground. Ariella's birthday party, outwardly a joyous family occasion, supposedly erupted into a decades-long feud. As told by a witness in the parking lot that afternoon, it began amicably. Christine came bearing generous gifts. Janelle provided a smile-thin lips. Even Icy Mary attended. But things changed when Robyn's oldest produced a camcorder, claiming it was for memories. That is when Kody allegedly flipped. Witnesses recall that Kody grabbed Christine and, in a tone far from sweet, uttered this. Kody allegedly said to Christine, "No more leaks, no more tax talk, no more messing with the police." But Christine held firm. A Flagstaff resident happened to overhear her response, firm but unflappable. "I didn't start this, but I will finish it." The truth doesn't disappear just because you don't want to hear it. The biggest surprise? Mary, yes, the normally demure, elegant Mary, stood up softly for Christine. As she walked past, she whispered clearly enough for Christine to hear, "You're not wrong." It was a small moment that shattered years of silence. But the showdown was just the start. Near the family van, where background shots were being taken by a camera crew, Robyn allegedly pulled Christine aside. "No small talk, just a chilly, unnerving threat. I know what you're doing. You don't want to open that box." Christine remained silent, but supporters have long wondered what Robyn was trying to say. Was it a threat regarding sensitive files, bank statements, emails, money files? Was Robyn concerned that the meticulously planned tale she assisted in creating was coming apart? Standing close by was another wife, silent, observant. Because what went down that day wasn't so much a family argument. It could have been the last time they were all standing in the same room, before one of them grabbed for the phone to call an attorney. The following day, everything was different. Social media was silent. Fan buzz slowed down. But underneath, tension only intensified. Because these leaks weren't gossip anymore. They were becoming serious in the eyes of the law. Celebrity legal expert Carolyn Beck raised eyebrows during her weekly live stream. If those tax returns are legitimate, she cautioned, Kody Brown might be in for more than upset fans. The IRS may soon be at his door. Beck broke down why the leaked Schedule C form didn't merely indicate a decline in income, it hinted at potential underreporting. And that suspiciously timed consulting fee? It coincided suspiciously with Robyn's alleged spending binge. If those funds were used to cover up personal expenditures or distribute community revenue into private pockets. Celebrity legal commentator Carolyn Beck cautioned that covering up personal expenditures as business expenditures is a huge red flag. It's not about who purchased the furniture, she explained. It's about whether the money was transferred correctly and if the government received its fair share. Next came a doozy. Beck matter-of-factly stated that Christina's attorneys likely went through all the papers before giving anything out. That small piece of information suggested something much larger. Christine wasn't just whistleblowing, she was gearing up for war. This isn't revenge. It's strategy. And lo and behold, the puzzle pieces began clicking. A since-deleted tweet from a Flagstaff paralegal, who says she worked hand-in-hand with the Browns' trust records, leaked Christina's legal team does possess documents. Documents that reveal who paid whom and what for. That is the distinction between fan fiction and a full-fledged legal bombshell. If Christine indeed possesses those papers, the desperate damage control by Kody and Robyn finally makes sense. Even if they've remained tight-lipped in public, sources claim their inner circle went into high gear. Local suppliers connected to Robyn's family were suddenly phoned, some inquiring about confirming or refuting purchases made last fall. It appears someone is attempting to destroy the paper trail for Christina's next action. And the shocker, Christine may not be alone in possessing these records. There's a long-forgotten name, but now one that is emerging again, somebody who was on hand when the cash was exchanged. If the whispers are accurate, she's preparing to step forward. What was supposed to be a mere birthday party, balloons, cupcakes, possibly even a unicorn piñata, turned into something else entirely. Something raw, something long-awaited. It began as friendly, according to a witness mere parking lot space away, said a witness across the parking lot. Christine showed up bearing considerate presents. Janelle offered a tense smile. Mary also arrived, with a warm but chilly hug. All of this changed, however, when Robyn's oldest produced a camcorder, claiming it was just to take memories. That's when Kody allegedly reached his breaking point. He drew Christine aside, some aggressively, and delivered a stern ultimatum. This ends here. No more leaks. No more taxes. No more resurrection of the past. But Christine wasn't going to comply. A local who overheard the argument said Christine stood firm. I didn't start this, but I'll finish it. What shocked everyone wasn't just Christine's defiance. It was who supported her, Mary. Yes, Mary, the quiet one who'd kept the peace for years. Passing Christine in the hallway, she whispered loud enough to hear, "You aren't wrong." Though not directed at Kody, Christine caught the words, and for the first time in years, a crack appeared between them. But that crack was temporary. What made the internet go wild took place just outside the family minivan. A camera crew was shooting background footage when Robyn accosted Christine. No niceties, only a blood-chilling threat. I know what you're doing, and you don't want to open that box. Christine kept silent, but the threat set fans into a whirl of speculation. Was Robyn referring to legal documents, bank reports, or emails that might unveil nepotism or money secrets? Others believe Robyn came to understand too late that the narrative she contributed to was falling apart. Another wife loomed behind her, silent, observant. Because that day, Ariella's birthday celebration, could have been the final time that the family remained in unison before one of them reached for the phone to call an attorney. The very next day, everything changed. Social media buzz ceased. Fan theory cooled off. But the tension? It just intensified. Because those leaks were no longer mere salacious gossip. They resembled the beginnings of something legally substantial. Celebrity attorney Carolyn Beck, who is famous for her blunt opinions on celebrity law, issued a dire alert in her weekly livestream. Celebrity legal commentator Carolyn Beck issued a dire alert in her livestream. If those leaked tax returns are authentic, Kody Brown might have more to fear than just his reputation. The IRS might be at his doorstep. Beck indicated a questionable line on a leaked Schedule C form, a mysterious consulting fee. The timing of this consulting fee was too coincidental with Robyn's alleged spate of high-end shopping. If that consulting fee was merely a means to disguise personal expenses or siphon shared money in the guise of business expenses, that isn't just seedy, it could be against the law. This is not about redecorating or cushy furniture. It's about whether the money was transferred correctly and whether Uncle Sam received his share. But the time that really lit up the fan community in flames was when Carolyn just sort of breezily mentioned Christina's lawyers likely went over everything before this became public. This wasn't revenge, it was a strategic move. That carelessly tossed remark opened up a storm of hypotheses on the internet. A since-deleted tweet by a paralegal who is knowledgeable about the Browns' finances asserted Christina's attorneys have been quietly building case for months. They weren't only concerned with taxes, could they be in the process of preparing to file an official complaint for financial malfeasance related to the Browns' defunct shared LLC? If so, Kody may not be the only one in hot water. In Arizona, spouses who are willfully profiting from concealed marital assets, even after they split, can be pulled into court. That might include Robyn. Anyone who went on big shopping sprees. Anyone who received consulting payments without providing any consulting services. Christina's silence only added to the flames. Some fans think a demand letter has already been issued quietly. Others interpret the leak as a calculated warning shot, loud enough to disturb nerves, but not yet in the form of an official legal document. Then there's the jewelry rumor. A Flagstaff jeweler, who did not comment on the record, was tied to screenshots shared within fan groups. In a direct message to a fan-operated Instagram account, a local boutique owner validated suspicions. Yes, the piece was bought there. Yes, it was customized. Yes, it was paid in full with cash. And yes, it was for Robyn. An emerald and diamond necklace that surfaced first in a grainy trunk show photo last fall. Just around the same period that suspicious consulting fee appeared on the leaked tax return, something else raised fans' eyebrows. An emerald and diamond necklace worth slightly more than $48,000 was purchased at a neighborhood boutique. But this is the catch. The purchase was not billed to Robyn's regular customer account. Rather, the cash was counted out quietly in the store's back room and stashed in the vault. And the jeweler had another intriguing tidbit. As the sale was taking place, a guy loitered outside, pacing to and fro for close to 20 minutes, glasses on, stuck on his phone. He never went in or said a word to anyone. When a fan eventually brought the jeweler a grainy street surveillance photo, the response was quick and certain. That's him. The picture was of a guy with blonde ringlets and a floor-length coat, typical Kody. Even more revealing, the date of the jewelry purchase almost coincided with the time Kody was seen outside the store. Close to $50,000 in cash spent only 2 weeks after the last paperwork for the transfer of the Coyote Pass property. Was it a payment for some covert consulting? A bonus? Or payoff money? No one is certain. But this is definite. The splurge purchase occurred while Kody was making public declarations of financial hardship. Meanwhile, Robyn denied favoritism in the handling of family finances. Christine said nothing, but she didn't need to talk. Her followers did it for her, tagging journalists, legal minds, and tax attorneys. By this time, the neighborhood wasn't questioning whether or not something had gone down. They were arguing over who would be subpoenaed first. Just as the internet chatter reached a fevered pitch, something went down that was almost imperceptible but huge. A county clerk quietly made a change to Coyote Pass land records. No press conference, no fanfare, just one change added to the database of the recorder of Coconino County. But one fan, who had established notification for any update to the land records, caught sight of the change at 3 a.m. What one eagle-eyed viewer discovered shocked the whole Sister Wives fandom. Only 48 hours after Christina's leaked tax form had landed on the web, a correction deed for Coyote Pass slipped quietly into county records. This deed was not ordinary paperwork. It was about one of the most bitterly contested plots of land involved in the Browns' very contentious saga. Although concise, a single page describing a sequence of signatures and title changes, anyone with property law experience would know that a correction deed is a significant red flag. These deeds materialize only in the event of a grave mistake that may jeopardize ownership rights, complicate the distribution of money, or even invalidate a prior transfer entirely. Fans immediately associated this update with Christina's tax leak. The contested lot was long speculated to be reserved for Robyn's children, something Kody tearfully admitted during season 15. But the initial deed didn't state the kids. Instead, It referred to a mysterious LLC. And now with this new correction settled, speculation reached even greater heights. One of the older online sleuths, who'd been going over documents for months, carried the theory further. This is no longer only about taxes. Christine may be getting ready to file a formal complaint regarding money discrepancies related to the joint LLC that Browns once owned. If so, Kody won't be the only person in the hot seat. Under Arizona statute, whoever knowingly profits from concealed marital property, even upon separation, may be dragged into court discovery. That is Robyn. Whomever approved suspect purchases or took consulting payments in lieu of actual effort could be pulled into the fray as well. Gossip catches on like wildfire. Various fans were certain Christina's attorney had already issued a quiet request letter. Others felt the leak was a strategic threat, public enough to rattle nerves, but not an actual lawsuit yet. Kody and Robyn's silence, meanwhile, only shouted louder. Because now, threats are no longer the issue, it's about evidence. And if the records from a specific Flagstaff jeweler pass muster, those receipts might sequence just right with the paper trail. The jeweler refused comment from the beginning. But when screenshots started circulating among fan groups online, a mysterious boutique owner finally breathed the truth. Yes, the sales did occur. A telling note landed in the inbox of one of the most popular Sister Wives fan-run Instagram accounts. The message was brief, but full of information. Yes, that gorgeous emerald and diamond necklace that appeared